Hey, everybody. Welcome to the channel that takes you deep inside the San Francisco 49ers. I am your host, Jack Hammer. It is time for the 49ers film review. Week 4 of the season has come and gone. The 49ers with a big 35-16 win over the Arizona Cardinals to get themselves to 4-0 on the season. Not only was it a big win, it was a record-setting day for the 49ers in three different ways. Number one, the 49ers offense scoring 35 points. That means that it was 7 weeks in a row now. When it comes to the regular season, 7 consecutive regular season games for the San Francisco 49ers in which they have scored 30-plus points. That's right, 7 weeks in a row. That is the most in the NFL since at least 1970. We don't have the numbers before 1970 on that in terms of the record books, but since 1970, no team has scored 30-plus points in 7 consecutive regular season games. Well, that's now belongs to the San Francisco 49ers. That record starting last season, the last 3 games of the 2022 season, that has carried over to the first 4 weeks here in 2023. That's record number 1. Record number 2, Brock Purdy set the 49ers single game record for completion percentage. He completed 95.2% of his passes yesterday, but when he went 20 of 21, 285 yards for Brock Purdy yesterday. A huge day for him. And that breaks the record. Again, 283 yards. Sorry, I misspoke there. But Brock Purdy, 2021, 283 yards. That 95.2% completion percentage breaks a record that belonged to Steve Young, that Young set back in 1991 against the Detroit Lions in a win over the Detroit Lions. It was a 35-3 win in 1991. And in that game, Young was 18 of 20, 237, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Yesterday, Brock Purdy, 20 of 21. 283 yards, 1 touchdown throwing. He also had a touchdown run. And again, 95.2. That is a new 49ers franchise record in terms of completion percentage. The best that Joe Montana ever had in a game in which he attempted at least 20 passes, 84.4. That's how good that day was yesterday. Steve Young was also number 3 on the list. Number 2 and 3 now belongs to Steve Young. 90.0 in 1991. 85.7 in 1997. John Brody hit 85% in the game in 1968. And then Joe Montana, that record, his number of 84.4 for Montana, that happened in 1983. So big day yesterday for Brock Purdy. Again, 20 of 21, 95.2% completion percentage, the best in 49ers franchise history. And we're not done yet. We still got one more. This is how good this offense is right now. Christian McCaffrey, the 49ers running back, he scored a touchdown yesterday. He scored 4 of them, actually, 3 on the ground, 1 in the air. If you watch my post-game show, I kept saying he only scored 3. Well, that was 3 on the ground, but he also had a receiving touchdown as well. 4 touchdowns yesterday for Christian McCaffrey. The first one that he scored in the first quarter on the 49ers' first opening possession of that game, that made it 13 consecutive games for Christian McCaffrey as a member of the 49ers in which he has scored a touchdown. That breaks the record that was previously held by Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice held that record since 1987. He scored over 13 consecutive games with the 49ers from week 16 of 1986 to week 16 of 1987. Remember, there was some strike games in there in the middle, but he had previously held the record at 12. Christian McCaffrey yesterday taking that number up to 13 and showing no signs of slowing down. He's been tremendous all season long. You look at the NFL right now when it comes to the MVP ballots and MVP betting and those types of things right now. Brock Purdy is 7th. I think he's a 16-1 in terms of at 16-1 right now in terms of the MVP race. At least that's what ESPN has out right now. Christian McCaffrey, he's not too far behind. He's 25-1. So, good stuff. Johnny Dell, you got to check out Johnny if you're not watching him already. Johnny Dell's Football Academy says Rice's record would have been longer, but for the strike, right? That's exactly right. It would have been longer, except for they had that strike in there, and he didn't play in those strike games because of all that stuff. So, yeah, they had that season? There were 15 games in that regular season, but 3 of them were strike games. So, however that worked out, yeah, it's week 16 to week 16 for Jerry Rice in that 86 to 87 season. So good stuff there. Thanks for joining, Johnny. Good to see you. Raphael 5629ers. If Christian McCaffrey scores another TD on Sunday, he will tie Emmitt Smith with 14 straight games with a touchdown. That's right. That is the current record right now is 14 when it comes to most in NFL history. Also, when you look through the numbers for Christian McCaffrey, yesterday he became one of just 4 players in the Super Bowl era to post 70 or more rushing yards, 3 or more rushing touchdowns, 70 or more receiving yards, and 1 or more receiving touchdowns, all in the same game. It's happened 3 times previously. Some good names on that list: LaDainian Tomlinson, Clinton Portis, Sean Alexander. That's a pretty good group of guys right there to be in the mix with. I was wondering about his 4 touchdown day yesterday, and I was looking at the numbers there, and I was surprised. I kept seeing Tevin Coleman, and I kept wondering I didn't realize that was actually a 49er stat, because I forgot all about Tevin Coleman scoring 4 rushing touchdowns against Carolina in 2019. If you remember that game, that was the blowout win the 49ers had over the Panthers at Levi Stadium. Let's see what else. McCaffrey became the first NFL running back to score 1 or more rushing touchdowns in weeks 1 through 4 for the first time since 2020. It was just a big day all around. Huge numbers. And then even that, we got to go one more. Brandon Ayuk was on the thumbnail. So let's talk about Brandon Ayuk as well. He had a career high yesterday, 148 yards receiving, the best that he's ever had in his career. Just 6 catches on 6 targets. Again, great stuff. And we're going to be definitely seeing a lot of Brandon Ayuk today as we get into this film breakdown. So before we get too far along, we'll get into it. And here is the notorious GAV. Hey, Gav, good to see you. Hey, you aren't too late. We just a couple minutes. We're getting rolling here. You won't miss any of the films, so congratulations on that. Let's get this thing rolling. Also, Raphael 5629ers, one of the good guys on the channel, a member of the Toolbox, says good afternoon, Jack, members of the Toolbox and everyone. He usually also makes sure that he reminds everybody to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. So let's do that. Taylor Broussard says, Jack, dug into some stats this morning. 49ers number 3 defense in points per game, but 20th in third down percentage converted. Number 27 in first downs from penalty. Number 17 in first downs given up. 49ers D in third down situations is 26th. I bet you if you went through and you looked at those games and you looked at where they rank in terms of when the game is a 1-score game, those numbers would be a lot better. That's one of the things about yesterday's game is if you go back and you look at that game, I think we might have had this conversation after the game yesterday, Taylor. But if you look at how the 49ers defense played over the course of that game, when the 49ers were up by 2, but were only a 1 score up, they played very good. If it was 1 score or less, when it became when they were up by 2 scores or more, they did not a very good job of actually stopping them in terms of not allowing points, but they did a good job of keeping everything in front of them, forcing that team to go down the field on them. We'll see how that plays out as the season goes along. We'll get into that more. I'm hoping to do a defensive film breakdown on Friday, actually, with Johnny Dell. I need some help for the defensive side of the ball, so I want to get him on and bring it up and go through it. So we'll talk about it more as we go through. I know. See, I gave you more homework. Now yeah, and I know what you're saying. There's room to grow for this defense. They're not perfect. What I'll say is the one thing that I did notice when I went and looked at the numbers from yesterday's game, Isaiah Oliver just needs to stay on the field. If Isaiah Oliver stays on the field, this is going to be this defense. That's when they're at their best, because that gives them their best personnel package on the field in those nickel situations. As good as Deommodore Lenoir can be in the slot, he needs to be on the outside because he's better on the outside. So you know what? We'll talk defense, though, in a couple of days. We'll do that on Friday, so we'll make sure we get that in before the game against the Dallas Cowboys. But let's get to it. Let's roll the film, and we're going to go through every play. Only a 40-minute show in terms of if we just let this thing run all the way through. You know me, I can't just let it run through. But, Arizona came into this game. They had allowed 4.6 yards per rush attempt. So wasn't much of a surprise that the 49ers came out running right away, and they run off tackle here right to start, running over the left side. Really nice run to open up. Nice gain of 6 yards. This opening possession set the tone for Christian McCaffrey's day. 8 plays on this opening possession. 6 times the ball touches. On 6 of the 8, the ball goes to Christian McCaffrey. Just a dominating day for him as he touched the ball on 27 of the 49ers' 55 offensive snaps. Nice little 6-yard gain here to open it up. And then Deebo Samuel, he's going to come up here on 2nd and 4. Deebo Samuel we weren't sure if he was going to play in this game or not. He ends up coming in and playing. Didn't get a target in the passing game, but he did in the run game. He ran the ball a few times. I'm not the biggest fan of Debo as a running back, especially since you have Christian McCaffrey. I get it's a little bit of a change of pace, but I'm not as sold on him when he's doing it now. When you have McCaffrey, there's really not a whole lot of reason. Part of it's because you just see how good McCaffrey is. What I want to show you here real quick, the reason I rewound it is as we go through this film, one of the things you're going to see the 49ers do often, and you're going to see the Cardinals as we go through the film start to call it out. You see the exit motion where Christian McCaffrey is exiting the formation, right? But this is actually, according to Kyle Shanahan, he calls it cheat. So you got the guy going a motion out here, and then they're going to run that sweep to the left. And I think the reason that they're doing that is it forces Arizona to slide out with one of their defenders, kind of opens up a gap in that 5-man front that they run. As the game goes along, you're going to see how Arizona starts to recognize what the 49ers are doing to them. But a real good job here to open up, and you get a nice little 3-yard run from Samuel. When I watched this, I'm kind of wishing that he had cut this up a little sooner. You can see the way that this thing's blocked. It's supposed to not be so wide. If he follows Kyle Juszczyk, see Kyle Juszczyk's got the kick out right there. You can see the little crease between Kyle Juszczyk and Trent Williams. That's where this run play is supposed to go, is right through that little area. It's really tight, congested, and then get up the field, up the field. It's not supposed to go to the boundaries. If this was Christian McCaffrey, I think we see him try to get in between Juice and Trent Williams here, because you can see where all the blocking is. This ball is supposed to be cut right up inside those numbers right there. Deebo Samuel is more of an outside runner. He can run up inside as well, but he's also a wide receiver, so he's not the runner that Christian McCaffrey is, right? He's still explosive with the ball in his hands, but I just don't like this for him, especially with McCaffrey. I'd rather see him getting the ball down the field on the slants and things like that. If I was the 49ers, I would line up Deebo Samuel and I would just get him the ball in the slants and let him, take off with it. Kind of, we're going to see the 49ers run 4 strong here in a little while, which is a play that Brock Purdy's just been nails on since he took over. But I would really like to see that go to Deebo Samuel more often, but then they come right back off of that, and another one over the left tackle, 6-yard gain for Christian McCaffrey. Just really nice run. Good. Again, you see the formation from the Cardinals. They've got they're in that base front that you're going to see from Arizona, that you're going to see back on December 3rd when the Flyers go out to Philadelphia. This is the same defense. It's the alignment is the same. The way that they're trying to get after you is the same. Obviously, the personnel isn't as good. So it's interesting to watch how the 49ers attack this defense. You could see glimpses of what they were trying to do in the NFC Championship game, but the big hit to Purdy takes that away. But you could see it in the way that they're able to run the ball. Really nice run here by McCaffrey. Talk about it all the time, how tight he usually keeps it to the hole. Really nice cut, and he runs through the linebacker 47 at the end top of the play. Just puts his head down and runs through him. There's nowhere else to go. He cuts back inside. There's another safety there as well. So nice start. You got 3 plays. We're 3 plays in, 2 runs for McCaffrey to pick up 12 yards. You got the run there, and now we come to Gav's favorite part of the game, play action. Kyle Juszczyk's going to be wide open on a corner route. Not very often that you see a linebacker have to hold a fullback who's lined up to the line of scrimmage, who's running a vertical route. But watch Kazir White have to grab Kyle Juszczyk, hold him, and then that leads to a holding penalty. Even with the hold, look how close that was to being a completion. It would have been a big gain for Juice if White doesn't hold them. Again, similar stuff to what we saw last year with the 49ers against the Eagles. That's a little bit different in that you get a little bit more of you're not asking your backup tight end to block that pass rusher one-on-one. Instead, they're letting their tackles play. The tight ends aren't really helping them as much. They're getting a little bit of a chip. You'll see it a few times in here. But a nice play, should have been a big gain. Didn't work out. So what do? They come right back, and they're going to stick with the pass right here. It's going to be a play action in the backfield out of the gun with Brandon Ayuk right over the middle. And this ball just comes out so quick, right into the window. Really nice ball from Brock Purdy. As you watch Brock Purdy play, whether it's this game or just throw on any of the films since he's taken over for Jimmy Garoppolo against Miami last year, it's all the same. Boom, look at this ball come out so early, hits him right as he opens up in the window, hits him in stride, and Ayuk's able to take it upfield for another 5 or 6 yards after the catch. He's just, watch this from this angle. You'll be able to see play action, and as soon as the ball's already in the air, so you can't see it, but Purdy's throwing that ball is beginning his throwing motion well before Brandon Ayuk has opened up has gotten to that open window. He knows he's going to be he's going to be open. He's able to get it out with anticipation, and he's able to make the throw. That's one of the things that he's done such a good job of all throughout this year. Now you're going to get a little pressure over here off the right side. Just escapes, hits McCaffrey for a nice gain, and they're going to pick up 12. But again, the pressure's coming up the middle. Spencer Burford gives up the pressure here. As you see Purdy escape the pocket down the field, he does have Ronnie Bell open at about the 8-yard line there. Instead, he takes the shorter throw to Christian McCaffrey. That's a safer throw. McCaffrey then takes off up the field for a nice gain of 12. One of the things that I noticed in looking through this film was George Kittle was open quite a bit. There was a number of times where he's wide open and he just gets missed because of where Purdy's looking, post snap based on the pre-snaps read. This play right here, he's trying to get the ball to George Kittle. You'll see Purdy, he's staring at George Kittle over here on the quick in route, but they get coverage on Kittle, so he's not open. 47 does a good job of jumping it. That's where he wanted to go with it originally. Then you get the pressure coming up Burford right there. And the footwork of Purdy, get out of the pocket, finds McCaffrey, gets it to him, and it's a nice gain of 12. So things are looking pretty to start off. And then this is one of those examples right here where George Kittle is going to be wide open. Now, remember the way that the Cardinals generally what they're going to do is those stand-up defensive ends a lot of times are going to be coming. You get the 3 down linemen as your rushers, plus you get the guys off the edge, so it makes it, basically a one-on-one pass blocking up front. And on this one, you get the motion out. Now, Purdy's looking at this, and that motion, what that's done is it slid the linebackers over. Notice that, how those inside linebackers had to they all took a step over. So sorry, I went back too far. But when we look at this, I won't stop at this time. When you see the motion, the motion out to the right, you're going to see the linebackers all take a step to their left. See how they both step over? Now, what that's done is that's created where Christian McCaffrey has outside leverage on that inside linebacker. So that's an easy pitch and catch to Christian McCaffrey for a gain here. And Purdy's made the decision pre-snap that that's the direction that he's going to go. And you can see that linebacker never is able to get to the outside, and that just makes it for an easy throw. But if Purdy had stuck with the play and had decided to read the other side of the field, look at George Kittle. There's a coverage bust there because the other linebacker let him go. The safety stayed in the middle of the field. George Kittle's wide open down the right hash for a touchdown right here. The play runs out. It's a first down. You can see Kittle kind of look at the sideline like, what? I'm open. Come on, throw me the ball. But again, watch as the motion goes out. See now 47 takes a step over. Look at his alignment to 23. He's well inside of where McCaffrey is, and Purdy knows that McCaffrey is going to be getting to the outside. He's not going to get that leverage on him. And so he goes to makes the easy throw, and it's a pickup of 12. They end up scoring the touchdown, so missing Kittle isn't that big of a deal. But it's pre-snap, took him to the left side. It's a good throw. It's a good play by Brock Purdy. 7 had passed him off, and nice play there. And they get the face mask, so they get it taken down into the instead of it being at the 4, it goes down to the 2, and then they're going to try to run this thing up the middle. They're in 12 personnel. And Jake Brendel just gets beat here at the line of scrimmage by 98. One-on-one, got the nose over him, splits Burford and Banks, and he's there to make the stop. You still pick up a yard, but that's why they don't get in the end zone on this one. Nice job of splitting the double team there. I don't think it's an alert, Taylor, on that throw to McCaffrey. I don't think that's an alert. I think it's just a pre-snap read, and that he knows Purdy knows what he's getting in terms of where his guys are going. And based on the alignment, he knows pre-snap that McCaffrey is going to get open, and he wants to get the ball out as fast as he can. So, he goes ahead and he just takes that because he knows that's going to be there. So he takes it. He doesn't know that the defense is going to bust on the coverage of George Kittle, right? So you go with what you know, and that guy's going to be wide open. So that's why he's looking that way, and that's why he goes that way when it is open. If it hadn't been open, then he would have had to come back to something else and probably would have found Kittle. Just the way that it works out. You make the pre-snap decision based off of the look that you get, and you're looking at which direction that you're going to go. As Johnny Dell says here, it's not an alert. Let me get over. Like I said, it's not an alert. Johnny says it's not an alert. It's a choice route. I think the play is actually halfback choice, and it's number one, and he's number one in the progression with Kittle being number two. But again, it's also because of that alignment. That guy, that linebacker being inside, he knows where. I think he felt pretty strongly that he was going to get. He has that one-on-one with McCaffrey against that linebacker there, and he likes that more than the vertical route with Kittle there, because that linebacker should have carried him into the end zone. So a nice job there. Now they come back from it. They missed the touchdown the first time around. I like this play because you look at what they're doing there. They come back and they were in 12 personnel the play before. Now they're lined up in 11 personnel, and the guy that 83 Willie Snead, the wide receiver that was called up from the practice squad for this game, he's lined up. He's taking the place. The previous play, if you remember, that was, you might not have noticed it, but Charlie Werner was lined up where Willie Snead is, and Werner had gone across the formation and was responsible for blocking the end. This time they're going to run this to the left side, and Willie Snead gets just enough of that end, and then you get a really nice collapse block. Watch George Kittle and Trent Williams. They create the hole. 83 comes across. He walls off the defensive end, and this is an easy touchdown for McCaffrey. But I like this. I love this play because you're using a wide receiver. The 49ers wide receivers, real quick, we know they're really good with the ball in their hands and all that kind of stuff, but these guys are tougher than hell because you're lining up a wide receiver as a tight end. You're running them across the formation for a block. It's not a blow-up block or anything like that, but it's just enough to keep 22 from being able to make a play, 22 with not a very strong effort to try to get to him either. But that's, I just think it's interesting how the 49ers go about their business on offense. Everybody kind of does everything when it comes to their skill position guys outside of the offensive linemen. George Kittle plays tight end, but he'll line up at wide receiver sometimes. We see Kyle Juszczyk, and he's lined up as a fullback. He's lined up as a tight end. He's lined up as a wing. He's basically their second best tight end. So, that's why we saw him get the corner route thrown to him earlier on that right at the beginning of the game off of play action when they got the holding penalty. You see guys just move around all the time. You see Christian McCaffrey out as a receiver. You see Deebo Samuel in the backfield. You see Ray McLeod and Willie Snead lined up basically as a tight end, which they do sometimes with Juwan Jennings, but Jennings wasn't available to them in this game. So it's just the way that they can mix and match and do all these different things. And it's not like they're putting anybody out of position. That's the other thing as well. And going back to that earlier play, and Shane's right, you don't know that it's going to be a coverage bust, so you're taking your pre-snap and you're making the decision based off of that. So anyway, nice early drive, 6 times, 8 plays, 6 of them going to Christian McCaffrey, including the touchdown. So now come back from the next one. It's defense goes 3 and out. Offense gets the ball right back on their own 25-yard line, and they're going to drive the ball right down the field again. They're going to run a sweep here to our side. I don't know if this is something that the 49ers realize, or excuse me, I think the 49ers realize it. But I've got to watch a little bit more film to really get a better read on this. But one of the things is, you're looking at the way that the 49ers are aligned, and you see how Kyle Juszczyk is a little bit further up in this formation than Christian McCaffrey. So it's almost like they're running an offset I formation out of the shotgun. Kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of where this running play is going to go. Not very many times are you going to line up in this formation and run the ball to the left side. You could, get a counter going back the other way with Juszczyk going across the formation, maybe being the guy that's going to kick out over there with McCaffrey taking a step in, getting the ball and then running. But you see this formation here kind of right off the bat. If I'm a defender, if I can recognize the depth difference and I see run, I feel like it's going to be a run to that left side, or my left side if I'm on defense. They're the right side of the offense. But 49ers come out right here. It's a nice little run out to the right, and they pick up 5. The reason for the shift is the shift, Taylor, that shift moves the linebacker. So if the linebackers move over, when those linebackers bump, like we talked about, that makes it a little bit easier for McCaffrey to get to the out, right? If that linebacker stays and the other linebacker slides with that bump, when you have the shift, if the one linebacker comes over, the other one doesn't, well, now the in route might be a little bit more open. So it's all about spacing, and they're really putting, if that linebacker on the right side, or the 49ers left side, the defense's right side, if that linebacker was the guy that they had decided they were going to put in conflict, what they were really doing is creating more area for McCaffrey to work, either outside or inside, depending on the leverage that he gets from the linebacker. That linebacker stayed inside, so he left the outside to him, and McCaffrey just had an easy choice to go in. If that linebacker had gotten head up or slid to his right a little bit more, so he was on the outside, then McCaffrey's going to run that vertical route, get him to plant his feet, and then go inside. So it just really depends. The route's not dictated by the shift. The route is dictated by the defender, where the defender has leverage. Since that defender had stayed inside, you're not going to run up and try to get across his face. You're going to get up. You're going to try to get him to move, but stay inside you and then get out. If you're running that vertical portion of the route, as you get to the top of that route where you got to make your choice, if he's starting to slide over where you can see his weight taking to the right, then you cut back inside. So it's one of those kind of things. That's why Purdy on that throw has to wait until the receiver defines which direction he's going to go. We've seen times in this season where they've run kind of a choice route and Purdy's thrown the ball where he early. There was one of those in the red zone in the game against the Rams late in the game. It was an incompletion. Not a big deal. They just went ahead and kicked the field goal. They were already up, I think, 27-20 at that point. So anyway, that's it there. So not good question, Taylor. I enjoy, if you guys got questions, throw them out. We'll talk through it and do our best to make sure that we answer it to the best, or at least best of my ability. If I don't get it right, Johnny will. So between the two of us, we'll help you guys out. That's part of why I do this. I want you guys to see what's happening, and plus I just like talking about the 49ers when this stuff. It's my favorite show, really. So there we go, the little runs, and then they're going to come right back off of this. This is just a nice little counter tray out of the shotgun, and look at Trent Williams down the field. He really opens this thing up. The counter tray, made famous by the Huggies out in Washington under Joe Gibbs. You're going to get all these guys on the right side are going to block down. You're going to pull the guard from the left side over, so you're going to get a kick out here from Aaron Banks. And then you're going to get the other, the tackle who's coming over. He's going to lead up through the hole. Watch the 49ers just collapse this thing down. There's the kick out. There's Williams leading them up through. McCaffrey makes one guy miss and then is able to pick up a few more yards for a nice 12-yard gain. That's an explosive run play for the 49ers offense. Remember, explosive runs, 12 or 10 yards or more. Nice patience. Gets up in there behind Williams. And Williams just, good job. They really collapse that side, and then you get those guys coming over. Watch Aaron Banks with the kick out, and then watch Trent Williams lead this thing up into the hole. Boom, there's your kick out, right? He's got him. Now 77. McCaffrey has to slow down just a little bit to let 77 get up into the hole. Little hurdle action right there. Little quick step, and then go. It's really nice. I could watch when you see runs like that, those things are, even though it's only a 12-yard run, a 12-yard run isn't something that you have a lot of in the NFL. And it's a thing of beauty when you see the way that everybody's working together, the down blocks, and then the guys coming over and the kick out and the pulling up and all that kind of stuff. Really good stuff there. Let's move on to the next one. So the first couple of plays here, you're going with McCaffrey. McCaffrey gets tired, so he taps out. 49ers go exit motion. Purdy's going to be looking to the left side here. It's all taken away, and so he comes right back to Jordan Mason. They got Jordan Mason run a little Texas route down here on the bottom. A little Texas route means you're running out and then coming back in. Think of like a V from where we're standing, the way that his route's going to go. But he can see Purdy's looking left. The defensive end falls back, so he comes right back the other way. Once he sees that defensive end falling back, he knows that Kittle's going to be covered. He comes back, looks at Ayuk. You got Ayuk running right into a linebacker, and so that opens up the hole for Jordan Mason on the money, and Mason with a nice gain for 13 yards. If we go back, let me show this one more time. I wish I had slow motion capability, because when you're looking at this thing, look at what happens, what Brandon Ayuk has created. There's two guys that follow Brandon Ayuk. You see the guy at the 50, he's following Ayuk. And then I think the other one is the corner. He follows Ayuk as well. So you got two Arizona defenders chasing Ayuk inside, plus the linebacker that's already sitting in the hole waiting for him to come to him. And then look at all the space that creates for Mason. Purdy doing a really nice job of seeing all that through. Puts it on him, and a nice little gain. Again, good protection up front. The 49ers did a really nice job in this game. Purdy was pretty clean the whole way through, but that last view right there, you could really see where Purdy starts to his left, goes to the middle, and then works his way from left to right across the field. Just really solid stuff for him. So you get that nice little completion, and they're gonna stick with Mason for one more play, and they're gonna run a zone here to the left side, exit motion again, and this time they're gonna try to get it up inside. Ray McLeod comes across in motion, and his guy's the one that makes the tackle. He gets a nice block originally at the line, boom, but then he falls off, and he's not able to stick with it. Because he's not able to stick with it, the guy that he's blocking is able to follow that play right down the line of scrimmage and make the tackle. But kind of a weird looking motion for McLeod. Gets the block at the snap on 25, but bounces off, and 25 is able to keep chasing it and come down with the tackle. Nice, a little gain of 4. So 2nd and 6 at the 41, 21 personnel for the 49ers. That's a really nice job by that outside linebacker at 47, I think it is, 45. He does a really nice job. They're trying to get this thing outside. He's already lined up. He's already aligned wide. The exit motion this time actually helps the Cardinals out because it widens him. And then from that widened position, he's already outside to really kind of set the edge on this one and force McCaffrey to pop it back up in. He ends up making the tackle, but there's a lot of other Cardinals around to make the stop as well. Again, watch that exit motion widens him. So he widens out, and now he's right there. You can see that the Cardinals quickly understood that what was happening to them. This is only the second possession, but they've done it a few times. That really nice job there by the linebacker, realizing what was coming and being able to step outside and force that thing back up in. So 3rd and 4, and they're going to try to run a counter now with Christian McCaffrey. George Kittle's going to miss the block here. You're going to see him step up and then try to block down, and he just misses him. Doesn't quite get to where he needs to go, and 47 is where he's supposed to go. He's supposed to step up and in. The guy that's right inside of Colt McKivitz, I think, is where he needs to get to. So you see how he steps up. Now he's got to come down inside, and he's got to help wall off 47, and he doesn't get there. Randy, it's okay. The good part about it is you only missed a little bit, and we've only had a few throws from Brock Purdy, so you'll get all those, and you'll still get some of the best runs of the day for Christian McCaffrey. So 4th and 4, they decide to go for it. It's a little bit too far for a field goal. You know, Jake Moody could probably hit that, right? We've seen him hit from 57 yards out. That's right about what that would be, 56, 57. But instead, they decide that they're going to go for it here on 4th and 4. Hey, Luke, good to have you on board. Luke, a member of the Toolbox, says, hey, everyone. Wants you guys to make sure you nick both of that like button as you're watching the show today. Let's go ahead and let's get into this one. So it's, what do we got? 4th and 4. The 49ers come out in 11 personnel. They're going to motion across. I think that's McLeod coming over. And if you just look at the formation right now, pre-snap, you know, look at that. You know, look at George Kittle. He's got the as the ball gets ready to be snapped, you have the Arizona defender slide out just a little bit, but he's still inside. Remember, Brock Purdy knows that George Kittle is going to run an out. He's got inside leverage from the defensive the linebacker. He's going to take the chance there and make the throw. Kittle's open. It's not the best throw in the world, a little bit behind him, so it stops him, and there goes the Purdy Express through town. At the same time, as we get this 4th down conversion from Purdy to Kittle, kind of wish George had stayed outside on that instead of running back up inside to all the pursuit. But again, just that you look at this pre-snap look for Purdy. Once they motion across, it becomes really clear. You see the runner go, you know you have man coverage because of that motion, and then you got inside leverage from that linebacker. He knows he's going to have Kittle quick, gets it to him. Not the best ball, but it's there, and Kittle with the catch, and you're going to take him all day, every day of the week in that situation after he gets the ball in his hands. So nice play here to pick up on the 1st down on 4th and 4 and keep the drive alive. And he just gets the ball out of his hands so quick. That's the one thing, and that's what Kyle Shanahan was talking about today on the conference call with the reporters. Was one of the things that he really likes about Brock Purdy is he challenges himself to get the ball out of his hands as quickly as possible. And there's times when Brock's able to get the ball out early, where other quarterbacks are going to maybe do a double hitch and go with the throw. Brock's trying to get back there, maybe just get that ball off in one hitch, speed it up. Because again, the faster Purdy gets the ball out of his hands, the better their likelihood is they're going to get a completion, because the receivers aren't running into coverage and those types of things. So that's what they're looking for there. 1st and 10. Now coming off of that, 22 personnel. They got 2 tight ends on the field here, and also two running backs, I believe. I'm looking at I'm trying to look at this one, and I see, because they have this up at the top of the screen. That's Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey's up at the top of the screen. You've got Deebo Samuel down at the running back spot. So they got 22 personnel, 2 tight ends, 2 running backs on the field, but then you line up, and all of a sudden the wide receiver is the guy that's in the backfield. This is, again, what the 49ers do, where they try to mess with you personnel-wise. They're going to motion across McCaffrey. And he has George Kittle here. I'm not sure why he doesn't make the throw. I think maybe what's happening is he's looking to make it there quick, but he sees the defender from that backside from the right starting to come across quick, and so instead he just takes that little check down. You can see him looking there. I wonder if he starts to see with where everybody is, and he just doesn't like it as much, so he comes back underneath to Christian McCaffrey. But another time where it looks like Kittle's open, if he gets this ball out of his hands right away, when he hits his back foot to George Kittle, we can see it here. I think this is a completion to Kittle. There's something that he's seen that he doesn't like, and so he takes steps away from pressure and takes the check down route. Because you can see he's looking at Kittle right here. I'm not sure why he doesn't throw it, why the ball's not coming out right now to George Kittle, because it's wide open over the middle. The ball should be coming out right now to Kittle. I'm not sure what he didn't like about what he's seen. So instead he slides away from the pressure that's coming from the edge, running around McKivitz, puts the ball on the hands of McCaffrey for the 1st down. And right now, if he's watching this, Brock Purdy's probably saying, "Jack, why are you busting my chops?" A couple of weeks ago, I had this row open, and I took it to Juwan Jennings, and Jennings was covered more, and he told me that I should have made the throw to McCaffrey. This time, I take the check down, and we pick up the 1st down, and now you're busting my chops still. But again, I think he had I think he had Kittle open quick for a down the field throw. Kittle's open a lot, just isn't getting the ball right now. They're not on the same page. So going back to what I was talking about earlier, they're going to throw it here. But look, notice the alignment in the backfield. If I'm on defense, and I've seen this a few times now, where you're in the backfield, you look at, they've got two backs in the backfield. They're in shotgun, but they've got one back. The fullback is up about a yard or two ahead of the other back. That's telling me they're most likely going to be going to that side where the fullback is short. Instead, they don't do it as a handoff here, though. They end up passing. It ends up just basically being a sweep, right? The ball's thrown backwards, so it is a sweep. Even if it wasn't, if this had been a forward pass, it's basically just where they're trying to get it out, get the ball quick to the edge, and then let that player go. It's a really nice play design. Think about like what you're seeing with the Miami Dolphins, where they're trying to get guys to the edge, right? Well, the 49ers have been doing this where they're getting guys to the edge with throws. They've done this a few times this season already. This time they get it out there, and then Christian McCaffrey, just nice block, hurdle, and then look at the blocking again. I mentioned it earlier on the show how good the 49ers receivers are at blocking. That's where they just separate themselves from the rest of the league. They're just so dang they're just so dang physical. You get the motion across from Kittle, but I'm just going to let it run. Watch the nice hurdle by McCaffrey. Watch at the top of the screen, Deebo Samuel blocking the safety, and he's blocking the whole way. There's no way that guy's going to stop Christian McCaffrey when he's already being blocked by Deebo Samuel. Really nice stuff. This is, again, why that offensive front, so many people worrying about their ability to protect. But then you get out to the edge, make plays like this. They just get the ball out so quickly that if they're not in a bad position in terms of down and distance, it makes it really hard to be able to pin your ears back and get after them. Yeah, Wes, you're going back to that play before, and I agree. He felt the pressure, decided to go to a second option. It's fine. I was just trying to point out that how often George Kittle is getting free in this game. He's not getting the ball. Plays are there to be made for George, and they're going to come at some point. So now it's 14-3. They're still in a really good spot. Hiram Wallace, a member of the Toolbox, is Jack. That one of the biggest things I see with Purdy is Shanahan trusts him so much to allow him to be aggressive, and that's more important than anything. And it is. These guys are in lockstep, I think, with each other when it comes to Purdy and Shanahan. And there's times when you can watch the game. Like I'll go back to the game against Pittsburgh week 1. There was a play where something happened. It looked like something happened. I don't remember exactly what it was, but you can see Purdy like yelling at the sideline, almost as if he's being told on the headset about a mistake that he made. And he's basically on the field yelling at Shanahan that he understands it. Let's go to the next play. And that's again, Purdy. There's so much to the game when it comes to playing quarterback. Purdy has the arm. He has the ability. What he has more than anything is he's got that internal clock that's quick. He's got that internal confidence in himself and that he can make all the throws. He's just a heck of a player. Doesn't have the size, doesn't have the arm. He's not. Nobody's going to think that he's Justin Herbert, but he just goes out there, and it's the same thing that we were saying last year. He just goes out and he makes play after play after play to help this offense. So, third possession. This is going to be a quick one. Again, on their own 25. This is going to be a real fun play. We're going to see 4 strong. This is a play the 49ers run a lot, and when they run 4 strong, I mentioned this earlier in the show, Brock Purdy is nails on this play. So they bring him in motion. That's George Kittle comes in motion. So you get that motion. Now what you're getting from everybody else, the same play. They've run it a number of different times. A lot of times they'll run this out of an offset I formation. This time they're running it out of the gun. You're going to get a slant. The number one read is Brandon Ayuk on the backside. He usually runs a slant on this. Sometimes they'll run it as a hitch, but normally they run it as a backside slant. Then over at the other side of the screen, you see the guy that's on the line of scrimmage just to the right side of the hash marks there. That's Kyle Juszczyk. Kyle Juszczyk's going to run a little hitch. He's basically going to replace where that linebacker is right now. at the 30-yard line. And then the player that's right next to him, that's Deebo Samuel. His route is to get up the field and run a corner. Meanwhile, you've got George Kittle. He's not even a receiver on this. He's going out the lead because you can throw a pass if you want to Jordan Mason. So number one is Ayuk. You go Ayuk to the hitch, to the flat, to the corner. The corner is the last one on this. Jaguayo, good to see you. I haven't seen your name pop up a while. I'm good to see it. See you on here. So yeah, this is 4 strong because you have 4 guys to the strong side of the formation. Okay, but as much as I say that, the first read is away from that strong side. You're looking backside to see if you can pop the slant first. And the slants there, you see the robber, the safety basically doing a robber type of thing, stepping up from the back into the middle of the formation, trying to rob an inside throw. Purdy gets the ball to his hands so quick, though it doesn't matter. It's not the best ball in that he stops Ayuk, but part of the reason he needs to stop him is because he has the robber coming down. So he does a nice job of putting it on him. The other thing that, as I noticed as I watched through, I mean, there's guys open all over the field. The number 1 read's there, right? If they wanted to, he could have thrown this thing up to the top of the screen to Jordan Mason, and Jordan Mason and George Kittle one-on-one with a linebacker out on the edge, right? Look at that up to the top. See Kittle, and if he just throws that thing quickly out here and is able to get Mason as he's running up, they're going to get to the edge and you're going to get a big play there. But the first read here is to go to the backside. Even Deebo Samuel would have been open, but Samuel kind of knows the ball. I think doesn't think the ball's coming to him. He kind of lollygags at the top of his route. Kyle put on a show yesterday. He put on a clinic. Jonathan Gannon, before that NFC Championship game, told some Philadelphia fans that they were going to gut the Niners that day, right? I think there was some animosity here between Shanahan and Gannon. He'll never say that, but I think he took that personally, and he wanted to come out here and he wanted to show them what that game would have been like if they didn't lose Brock Purdy. Eagles are a different beast altogether because they're just so dang good. So there we go. The quick throw to open this series up. Now we're sitting 1st and 10. You got 11 on that little throw. 1st and 10 and opportunity ball coming up. Look at the 7-step drop from Purdy. They're trying to hit the over route. It's not there. He takes the shot down the field. What I love about this play is there's so much to like about it. Number one, the first thing is Purdy takes the deep shot, right? He takes the deep shot, and when he's taking this deep throw, it's not really even there. It's not like it's a wide open throw, but he knows that the over route from Deebo was covered. He sees that this defender that's just right around the 47-yard line right there, Deebo's running right to him. So he knows that he's not going to be there. The ball's already out of his hand anyway, but he recognized it even before that. So he recognizes right away as he's dropping back that he sees the defender robbing. He's robbing the slant. He's robbing the over route. He's stepping in front of it. See the defender that's standing right now at the 47-yard line? That's the safety. The safety stepped down. So what they're doing is the safety, instead of being the deep guy, the free safety, he's stepping up into the hole to cut off the over route from Deebo Samuel. This is something the 49ers run a lot. So teams know that, and now you see the defense trying to take that away, bring that safety down. So what's happening is the defender, the DB on the other side, I think it's a cornerback, he's rolling back. He's got the deep middle of the field coverage. And they've got it covered, right? This play is well covered by everybody. Brock Purdy throws it to where only Brandon Ayuk can get this ball, because look at that DB. That DB has his back to the quarterback. He is sprinting his ass off. He doesn't know where the ball's going. This is one of those plays that you talk about all the time. And we do these film reviews, and I say, like when I was doing the film reviews back during the preseason, and I'm like, why isn't Trey throwing the ball right here? There's no way this guy's going to get it, because he has his back turned to him and he's sprinting back to try to get into a position. But you can throw this ball. He has no idea what's happening, or not even just Trey Lance. You throw Sam Darnold out there, and Sam Darnold does the same thing, where he's got a guy wide open, but he doesn't throw up because he sees a defender with his back turned sprinting, right? So here, what Brock Purdy sees He sees that his over route's covered. He sees that everything short's covered. He also sees that the guy that can take this play away has his back turned to him and is sprinting. So he throws the ball where that guy is, because that guy is not going to be there. He's going to leave the play, right? Because he's trying to get he's trying to get to where he's deeper than Brandon Ayuk. So called this an opportunity ball. He throws this thing back to the open area of the field. Remember, that DB's got his back turned, right? So if that guy's sprinting to his left, if you throw it to his right, there's no way he's going to make the play, especially if you don't put the ball up and just, into the moon, right? And so he puts this ball out there. Brandon Ayuk, if you watch it, I'm going to run this back one more time full speed. Watch Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk isn't even expecting this ball. He's slowing down at the top of his route because he thinks he's covered. All of a sudden he looks back. He's like, oh shit, the ball's coming to me. I got to go get that. And he goes over and gets it. That's just a tremendous play by Brock Purdy to understand that his underneath guys are covered, that he's got a guy that's supposed to go over the top who can't cover to his right. So he's going to put the ball over there, and he's going to give Brandon Ayuk an opportunity to be a football player and go make a play. At the beginning of this thing, Brandon Ayuk doesn't even think the ball's coming to him. He just thinks he's running the defense off because they're going to throw this to Debo. All of a sudden, the ball's in the air, and he's like, oh, shit, I got to go get it. Or I'm going to get yelled at by Kyle, and Brock's going to scream at me too because I didn't make the play, right? Look at it. He slows down. Oh, I got to go. It's a great play by Brock Purdy. He can't throw. He's not going to throw the ball much further than that anyway. But where he put the ball, only his guy could get it. That's the only guy that's going to make that play because the safety is just running too fast to get back in the middle. It's just a really, really nice. It's a beautiful play. It was a 40. I think the air yards, according to Next Gen Stats, 46.2 yards. The ball flew in the air. That's the longest throw for Brock Purdy in his career in terms of air yards. Just really good stuff. Did we see that one from the other end zone view? Yeah, here we go. But you can see again, you can see how this ball where it's located. It's over here. He's got to go get it, right? You don't really see what's happening at the top, but you see how Ayuk is running away. He leads them away from those guys. It's just a really good throw. It's a really nice read. He sees it so quick and he knows where he's got to go. Watch how soon he doesn't. There's no wait. He hits his back foot. It's one hitch and go. He knows that he wants to take that shot. He knows underneath cover. He sees what's happening. Boom! We're taking the shot, and it's a 42-yard completion. Really nice play by Brock Purdy. Sorry I spent so much time talking about that one, but just a really, 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 really nice play by Brock Purdy. Come back off of that, and they're going to go play action. Boom. Everything's covered down the field, so you take the short throw to Ray for 12. Really nice. Again, this is what, again, the offense is different. This offense is completely different once you put Brock in here instead of Jimmy Garoppolo, because he has that ability to get outside the pocket with quickness, put pressure on the defense, and he's making, what I like about this one right here is he's making that throw without having to really turn. Remember how Jimmy Garoppolo, he'd roll to his left and he'd really stop and spin himself around and everything. I really like how Brock gets the play action. He gets out to the sideline, but he just keeps running. He just turns his shoulder and then boom. I love that. That's the way that you always should throw that, I think, is that you don't want to necessarily turn your body around, and he's continuing to attack the ball, turn around and throw it. All comes out really quick. Really nice stuff. 14-3 at this point, and then so after that, try to run off a little bit here to the right with McCaffrey. Spencer Burford gets pushed back. You're going to watch it from here. You'll see Burford get pushed back, and that creates the problem for the Foreigners' offensive line. They did a really good job everywhere else. Burford wasn't able to really get his man pushed. His man starts to tackle. And they make play. We can see it a little bit better from here. You can tell. Look at shucks. Dang it. Sorry, guys. But I want to go back to this one. I want to go back to the run play, because watch. Where am I? Here we are, right here. Watch Colton McKivitz. He's the right tackle. He knows that he's got to get up the field. And look at him. He's like, oh, man, I got to go. I see him. I'm pointing. I got to go 34. I got to get on my horse right here. You can see his hands shaking. He's ready to go. he gets upfield, he drives that guy off, and does a really nice job. Unfortunately, 74 Spencer Burford gets beat at the point of attack, and his guy makes the play. But just good to see. McKivitz had a really nice game in the run game at times in this one, especially with having to get up to the second level. He's something he struggled with this year. Now they're going to go play action. This is the touchdown. Everything about this play is looking to the right side. Purdy doesn't like it. Slides away from the pressure, gets it out quick, and hits his check down to McCaffrey, who scores. Basically gets tackled and lands on top of the Cardinal. And since he's not on the ground, he's good to go. And so the play rolls until he's actually down in the end zone. But it's not there. Slide, boom, quick. Again, just so quick. Everything when we watch it from the upper view, there's nowhere to go to the right side. That's the side that they're looking at. Originally, it's all covered. I don't know who's first, second, third in the progression over there, but you can see that he's everything about this. They're trying to work the right side early on. Everything's covered up, and so take a step up, go back to your check down, and this is like Roger Craig and Joe Montana in Super Bowl 19 against the Miami Dolphins. You see a touchdown like this in that game. He actually runs it into the end zone, but just a real nice job. Look, nope, come back, make your throw, hit him on stride, and let him take it into the end zone for a touchdown, and you're up 21-3. Really nice stuff. Good protection here too. It's not like this ball comes out really quick because he's really standing there looking to the right, trying to read. You can see him go all the way across, comes back to his left, and then there's the touchdown throw. That's really nice. As Jimbo says, as good as it gets right there. It really is. But the way that this offense played yesterday, they had the ball for 8 possessions. This is possession number 4. They had 8 possessions yesterday. They scored on 5 of them. They punted once. 2 times they had possessions that were like this, where they knelt down. If you take out the kneel downs, they scored on 5 of their 6 possessions, punted just once. The 49ers this season have been remarkable in the first half of games as it is. Coming into this game, they were 10 of 13 when you take out the kneel downs. They added 3 more, so they're 13 of 16 in scoring points in the first half when you take out their kneel downs. They've only punted the ball 3 times in the first half this season. No turnovers. The 49ers have only 1 turnover so far this year. Just a nice, just a little out hitch combo. They follow Juszczyk out to the flat, opens up Willie Snead wide open on the little hitch, and the ball comes out quick. Boom, boom, and you get a nice quick, open up the second half. Nice quick gain of 9. Willie Snead straight up from the, Snead had a really nice training camp. There was a point during training camp this year where I wouldn't have complained, or you could have made a real strong case for Willie Snead making the 53-man roster just based off of that. But he's just been a really good wide receiver for him this year. Now, off left guard, really nice blocking here. I think that's a zone to the left. Really nice. Really nice push. They get the little cut up, and then look at Colton McKivitz. Again, the right tackle. They're running zone to the left side, so he's got to get across and get up to that linebacker. Watch 68, boom, scrape, get to him, and then he takes him for a ride. And that helps pick up 10 yards for McCaffrey. Watch, again, you get really nice play side blocking over here from the 49ers. Are part of the reason they're so good is they're stronger in their man blocking stuff on the left side. The right side of their offensive line is really good on the move. So when you run away from them, they're playing to their strengths. Yeah, and a guy that doesn't have a strong arm, just a beautiful layered 20-yard out to Brandon Ayuk off of play action. This is just good stuff. Play action on the hash, up and over the underneath defender. He's wide open. Nice throw. This really shows you watch the underneath defenders. They've got their eyes on Christian McCaffrey. They don't want to let McCaffrey. They're so focused on McCaffrey. They still got enough depth though, but he sees us. He sees that underneath defender stepping up. the guy that's at the hash mark or on the 40 right there. He's already stepped up. There's no way he's going to make this play. Just needs to get up over the top of him. Just a perfect throw, man. You could have a guy that can rip that throw on a dart, right? Doesn't matter. You get the ball out on time, like Purdy does right here. It doesn't matter if it's a rope or if it's like that. That's a beautiful ball with touch to Brandon Ayuk for 25 yards right there. I think it is 20-yard out from the far hash for a guy who people say doesn't have much of an arm. Just it's good stuff. All the negatives on Purdy have bit the dust, and I need to do a better job of just sticking with my commentary, not even worried about that stuff. This is a really nice one too. They're trying to hit the slant. They're running slants on the left side. Purdy opens up to the left. He wants to hit a slant. Really good coverage. Comes right back. And you've got McCaffrey on that little choice route in where he makes that inside cut. Basically taking that vacated area. You're going to see right here, nice protection. Looking to his left, covered, come across, boom, right there. Checks to see where the linebacker is, notices in the middle, and then he gets the ball right out to McCaffrey. Watch, he's going to look left, linebacker, McCaffrey. Boom. And he fits that in. Look at that tight window throw. That's a really nice one. Yeah, no, absolutely, Cal Bear. Absolutely. This is 100% correct. Doesn't have a strong arm, but it's good enough for the 49ers scheme. Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I've been saying all off season. He has enough arm. He doesn't have the strongest arm in the world. He doesn't have that prototypical arm that you're looking for. But Brock Purdy has enough arm to make every throw that you need to be hit to run the 49er scheme flawlessly. Would it be nice if every once in a while he could throw the ball 70 yards down the field because something's, whatever? Yeah, sure. But when you do what he does and you come out and you just rip through these guys like he does, and he's able to get the ball out quick, get it to them, it doesn't matter. The fact that he doesn't have Patrick Mahomes' arm strength or Justin Herbert's arm strength, and not picking on Justin Herbert, but I know that he's the guy that has a strong arm. Josh Allen's arm strength, let's use another name. Just because he doesn't have those arms doesn't mean that he can't go out there and make every throw that you're looking to be made on the football field. And as Sire says, how often are you going to throw the ball 60? You're throwing 65, 70-yard bombs. Not very often. That's why when you look at the NFL, the majority of their throws are within 20 yards. They're from that 10 to 20, 25-yard range. There's not very many balls that go beyond 30 in the NFL. There just really isn't. It's also partly why when you look at the throwing tree, you have behind the line of scrimmage 0 to 10 or 0 to 9, 10 to 19, and then 20 plus, because there's not very many times that you get throws beyond 20 yards. On average, you're getting the high last year. I don't even think was 15% of throws getting to beyond that were traveling beyond 20 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. I would have to go back and double check, but I don't think that if there was one, there might have only been one or two. Most of these guys, most quarterbacks aren't looking to do that. So good stuff there. Hold on a second. We're going to put somebody in timeout. All right, there we go. It's fine if you disagree, but we don't need to come in and start yelling and screaming. Let's move on. So we got that nice little play from Purdy to McCaffrey to pick up 11. Nice. And now they're going to come back. And remember, I mentioned this earlier in the game, how you've got the fullback a little bit further up in the formation than the running back, than the halfback. Look at that. See the watch. You might not have seen it because you know what I'm telling you to look at. Okay. Notice how where a huge check lines up. Look at this formation. Look at the way the running backs are set up. Okay. Now, just before I hit play, see the safety standing at the 24-yard line on the hash marks. Watch what he does. It's going right here. It's going outside. He knows he calls the play out before the snap. They run it. The defense is all slanting over, and they're able to stop Debo for a loss of 2. This is the one possession the 49ers had on Sunday where they didn't score. but they've seen it enough in this game, and they're playing it quick over there. Again, 34 is pointed out as soon as boom, it's coming outside. Everybody slants, and no chance on that play. And now we come back. It's going to be 2nd and 12. So now they're in that backed up situation. This is where you don't want to be. This is where the 49ers do have trouble. They're trying to give some help to McKivitz. They're trying to run their deep. They like to run deep curls, and then they have basically little outs on either side, kind of as dump offs. The Cardinals did a really nice job here. Purdy's looking to the right side. Purdy's looking to the right side. He's looking to Brandon Ayuk, but it's covered. He tries to come back to the other side, but before he can get back there to throw to his left or look to his left or go with the check down, he's sacked. You see the defensive end. Let me pull it back a little bit further. Okay, so here we go. They're gonna make the play. Watch this is nice little chip by Kyle Juszczyk, but 45 with a spin move on Colton McKivitz, and he brings him down for a sack. This is tough, and this is kind of the area, again, these long yardage to go situations where they can tee off on McKivitz. That's where he's going to struggle. We've seen it so far this season. He doesn't have a chance here on the spin move. Good job of slowing him down originally, but then good coverage on the back end makes him hold it and then have to look to the next spot, and you get the sack. So now on 3rd and 24, this is the one incompletion of the day for Brock Purdy. You're going to get pressure over here on the left side. Trent Williams gives up a little bit of pressure, and Purdy has to does a good job of getting the ball out of his hands quick and throwing it away for an incompletion. But it's a good one. Texas Niner, I'm not sure I think what he's saying there in terms of the arm strength of Brock Purdy is fine. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. If he's being let me pause it. If he's being rude in the comment section, that's one thing. But I don't know. I don't think you need to have a huge arm. I don't think you do, and I think that was the point that he was trying to make. If it was beyond that, then maybe I'm just not seeing. When there are problems, there are going to be times when Purdy doesn't have the arm strength to make all the throws because of pressure or something like that. But I think 9 times out of 10, he's going to complete everything that he needs to throw. I don't have a problem. I don't think it's a problem to say that Purdy doesn't have a huge arm. I think it's okay to say that he has an under whatever arm strength, but he has enough arm to be able to make every throw. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. And Texas Niner says, how about this, Jack? Arm strength means nothing to the chat. I want Purdy over Allen or Herbert, period. And that's fine. That's not a problem. What I'm going with it is that you don't need, and I'm agreeing with you, Texas, is that you don't need to have the arm strength of Herbert. You don't need to have the arm strength of Allen to be successful in this 49ers offense. What you need to have the ability to make all the throws that need to be made. And he can make all those throws. And if he's saying that if something that you don't like, then just ignore him. Just ignore him and focus on me, what I'm saying, and we'll be all good to go. Don't leave. Come back. Stay with us. Focus on me. Focus on Brock. Focus on what this offense is doing, because it was a really solid effort. Again, 20 of 21. I almost said the wrong numbers. 20 of 21 with a touchdown, 283 yards for Brock Purdy in yesterday's game. Just a really solid performance overall. And like Shane says, very similar to like Drew Brees. I see a lot of that with Brock Purdy's game. So, now this game's tightened up. It's 21-16, and here we go. Brock Purdy airing it out again. A downfield throw This is very similar to the throw that he made to Brandon Ayuk earlier in the game. It's a little bit different in that this time it's not an opportunity ball. He sees that he's open. He's putting the ball out there where what I like about this is that he's putting it where Ayuk can run out and get it, flattens him out a little bit on his route. Ayuk just keeps going to it. And there you go. You've got a nice gain, 34 yards down the right side to get this thing rolling again. First play, right? You just gave up a big drive. It's 21-16, and you just answer right back. You got punched in the mouth. It's 21-16, right? You're kind of a little staggering. You come out next round, boom, came out and popped them real quick with a quick right, and nice. You flip the field. You're on their side of the field now. You're over all the way to their 41. Really nice. Again, Purdy's got plenty of arm to make all the throws that the Niners are looking for. Step up, get that ball down the field. Really nice stuff. And this is what we're going to see. We're going to see them when they, this week against Dallas. You're going to see a lot of, I think a little bit tighter coverage. You're going to see more pressure. I think you look at the game last year. You're gonna see pressure from Dallas's defensive front, but I think it's hard. You got to remember they're going to do a good job of getting the ball out quick. If they can get their run game going, it all works off of that. A little screen out here to the rookie Ronnie Bell, for whom the bell tolls for 9. Nice, like it. Ronnie Bell's a nice little player. Does a good job when it comes to the run game. And then he shows that toughness. He's not Debo. Nobody's going to be Debo, but he's definitely a guy that I think next year can step up and replace Ray McCloud in that role. That Debo, Debo light role, right? The guy the backup to Debo Samuel. That's Ronnie Bell. I think that's where his future lies. He can kind of be your Juwan Jennings maybe on third down, but you're looking at him to be more of your backup to Debo Samuel. Nice 10-yard run on this little gut run. Pulling the guard over right up the gut, and the safety tries to shoot this, and Christian McCaffrey makes him miss and goes for another 10-yard gain. Watch, there's the Banks coming over, boom. There's a little sidestep, makes the safety miss, and then Spencer Burford lands on top of him, and a nice gain of 10 for Christian McCaffrey. Watch the pull from Banks. Does a nice job getting up to 7, make the guy miss in the hole, and a nice run by Christian McCaffrey right there. Good blocking up front for the 49ers. Again, record-breaking day. Purdy, 95.2%, the highest in 49ers franchise history. McCaffrey with a touchdown in 13 straight games. Exit motion, they've been doing that all game long. When they've been doing that exit motion, they've been tossing towards it. By this point in the game, Arizona's tired of seeing it, and they shoot that guy up the field, and he does a really nice job, does 25, of getting up into the backfield and breaking this up before McCaffrey has a chance. He runs over, just blows up Kyle Juszczyk. But again, they've seen it so much. It was clear what the 49ers were trying to do here. They've seen this exit with the toss behind it, that they're attacking it now. And that's where the stop comes from. But they come right back off of that. Now it's going to be 2nd and 12. I think probably only like the second or third time they've been in a long situation. And they're going to go right back to McCaffrey. Everything, he's looking to the right side. It's not there. Swing it over to the left and let McCaffrey run. They've got everything kind of starting off over here on the right side. It's all covered. Swings it back real quick. Good blocking up front by this 49ers offensive line again. 4-man rush. And McCaffrey has just been such a huge piece of what this team is in terms of what he's been able to do. Such a good running back in between the tackles. You get him out on the edge in the passing game, and he's going to beat you there. Just a huge get for the 49ers. Like Kyle Shanahan said yesterday, don't say that we don't have them. I know we're getting close to the Monday Night Football game, guys. We're almost done. We only have we have this one. There's only one more possession after this in the game. So Johnny's hopping off. He's taking off. He's going to go watch something. We're going to be doing a defensive film review. If you like what you're seeing here, we'll be back on Friday. We're going to do a defensive film review as well. But nice little quick throw out here to the left side to Juice. Gav, hopefully you're still around. Wake up, Gav. Juice got a catch. Just he picks that side to start with. It's that same flat hitch combination that they ran earlier that they threw to when they ran it earlier, they threw it to Willie Snead. This time they do a good job. They actually double Deebo Samuel, so the ball goes right out to the flat. A little tight, but short gain. Picks up 4. Flip it over. Now it's fourth quarter. Same. This is very. Now I don't know if you're still in here, but we were talking about earlier in that where the one earlier where there was a completion and you had Kittle break free into the end zone, but they didn't see him. Again, this time they motion McCaffrey out, so he's not in the backfield. Now he's wide, but that linebacker, see how he widens with him, but he still lines up inside, so that gives out. He's got inside leverage on McCaffrey, so McCaffrey's running a choice route. Because that linebacker's inside, he plants, goes out. Purdy's looking over there, and as soon as he sees the cut, he knows he's got McCaffrey, puts it on him. They pick up the first down, and it's going to be 1st and goal at the 2. But again, watch. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. McCaffrey motions. 47, you can still gets off the screen. But he's a little bit too far inside. We had that whole conversation earlier on with one of those plays, but you can see it there. I'm not sure. Probably won't see it here either because he's going to be too wide. Yeah, you can a little bit, but he's maintaining inside leverage and makes it an easy pitch and catch for McCaffrey and Purdy. Now you're down here at the goal line, 1st and goal, right up the gut, touchdown. Doesn't even get touched until he's across the goal line. Really nice blocking from the 49ers offensive line. Really nice block by Spencer Burford, 74. Does a really nice job. Watch Burford work his way across. He's going to step across the formation. He's going to get the 7 or 47, excuse me. Does a really nice job of coming across, scooping, and getting to that linebacker to stop him there. Really solid stuff. And then this final possession of the game is really, perfect stuff from the 49ers, 28-16 at this point. And they come out and they're saying, we're gonna finish the game now. We're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna march down the field. I'm not gonna stop it. We'll let it roll as they go through this. We've got a nice long drive here. It takes 7 minutes and 14 seconds off the clock. The 49ers have been running that if you look at that play right there, they've been running this toss to the outside with exit motion. Now you run a toss, but instead of it going outside, you're running up inside. So that's the little change up that Kyle Shanahan makes, right? They've been running that toss with exit motion to the edge. Now you get the exit motion, run a toss, but instead you're running it up inside with more of a lead play. Really nice comeback, and they're able to pick up a nice gain to open it up a 6. So it'll toss. Now they come back right off of that with a outside toss. And again, as we watch this from here, watch the blocking of Willie Snead. Willie Snead he's going to be coming across the formation. He's going to help George Kittle. Kittle's got it, so he gets upfield, makes the next block. That's a really, really, really nice play by Willie Snead. Watch Snead come across. When they run that toss, they usually will use the motion guy to help kick out. Boom, it's good. Now I'm going to get upfield, get to that second level, and he gets it. The reason that this is a run of 16 yards, that's not a 16-yard run if it's not for Willie Snead in that block. It was a really nice job by Willie Snead up from the practice squad. You got to give him his due, especially in the running game as a blocker. Had the one catch also for 9 yards. Really solid performance there. Again, nice cut by McCaffrey for a gain of 6. They're running outside zone this time to the left out of 12 personnel. Boom, plants his foot, and goes. Really, when you run that, you're running to a spot and you're looking for leverage, looking for holes. He sees where 64 is going, and he cuts right off of his behind, and gets up the field for a gain of 6. So 3 runs in a row, 6 yards, 16 yards, 6 yards for Christian McCaffrey to open this up. Then they come back, and this is that little reverse that they like to run where they look like they're going to hand it off. You get motion out of Juszczyk across the field. He plants his foot and goes the other direction. They ran this last year against Arizona for a touchdown. Arizona does a much better job against it this year, but Samuel's still able to get across for the first down. Not really surprised that Deebo Samuel played as many snaps as he did, Hiram. I was, once he's active, you expect him to play quite a bit. I was more surprised by the fact that he didn't get the ball in the passing game, but instead he was used as a running back, which is even more physical than if you're playing wide receiver. Just didn't work out for him to get any targets in this game. But no, I wasn't surprised by how many he played. I figured if he was going to be active, it meant that he was going to play. Deebo Samuel's a tough guy, and was able to make it through. Still dealing with the ribs a little bit and the knee. He was on the injury report today, but he should be good to go for the Cowboys game on Sunday, 100%, I think. So now we got Jordan Mason in the game. He's going to run off the left side here a couple of times for 3 yards. There's your first one. The running zone, and the guy on the backside here does a really nice job of getting back across the face of Trent Williams, able to slide off, get across, and make that tackle. Williams just not able to hold on to him right there. I do have a breakdown. I have a breakdown. I didn't break it down yet, but I can shut up for a few minutes and kind of tally up what I've got. If you're looking for 21 versus 11 personnel. Uh, 28 snaps for the 49ers out of 21. And 28 out of 21 personnel. And Shane wants to know what the breakdown was of 11 versus 21. They were in 21 personnel 28 times. They were at 11 personnel 16. The rest was a combination of 22 and 12. Samuel played a ton of snaps. I don't think that really had a whole lot to do with it. The 11 personnel thing, the 49ers usually don't use 11 personnel a lot unless they're facing third down or in long situations. They're not usually a base 11, even though they've been doing it a little bit more lately. We got to show this. This is just a really nice back shoulder throw. You can't make this back shoulder throw any better to Brandon Ayuk on the left sideline for a gain of 11. Just a really nice ball. He's got guys over here, but he likes the one-on-one matchup, and he says, he puts that ball behind him. What's awesome about this is you watch these guys in their warm-ups, and both Purdy and Sam Darnold work on these back shoulder throws in the warm-ups with these guys prior to the game. And that's just a beautiful ball location from Purdy to Brandon Ayuk for that 21-yard gain up the left sideline. Exit motion again. They've been exit motion toss, right? So exit motion toss, but instead of going wide, they're doing the exit motion, the toss, and they're trying to get this thing up inside. Just another look, and it's a kind of it's basically a toss to an inside zone run. Okay, so they're running instead of the quarterback reversing out, handing it off, toss it back to him, try to get that defense moving, and then run that thing back up inside of them. Doesn't work out, for a big gain here, but it's just that you can see Shanahan kind of going through his look. They don't get anything on that one. 2nd and 10, they run it to the left side, pick up 3 for McCaffrey. That's going to set them up with a 3rd and 7. They're going to 3rd and 7 because it's 3rd and long. 11 personnel. That's when they're in 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and long. They're going to go into 11. They're going to get an extra guy out there. So they get an extra one out there. Now they have them across the board. Motion out, empty set. They jump McCaffrey and he throws the little out curl, come back to Ray McLeod for the first down. Gain of 9 on the play. Okay, you see him, you can't really see it here. Good protection up front. It's just like, shooting fish in the barrel for Brock Purdy. Really solid performance all around. Then I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. So there's one more throw that I want to show, and then we'll get to third and goal at the 2. They're going to try to, trying to throw this. He sees it, nothing's open. He sees the holding. He throws it at Brandon Ayuk to kind of make the referee see it. He can see the holding. Kind of throws into that open area, and they get the holding call. They're going to score a touchdown a couple of plays later. Go up 35-16. Get to 30. Again, Brock Purdy, the 49ers offense, 7 consecutive games with 30 points or more. The only time they haven't scored 30 points in the regular season with Brock Purdy quarterback, Thursday night football up in Seattle dealing with broken ribs. So basically what's happening, what we've seen is if you have Brock Purdy playing in a game and he doesn't have broken ribs, he's going to put 30 on you. This is a good one. Yaffe says, Jack, is CMC and Marshall Faulk a safe comparison? Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of, that's a really good comparison, Yaffe, in that both guys, not bulky guys, but they're able to run up inside, right? They're good between the tackles runner, even though they're not like that prototypical size of a guy that you think is going to be a powerful between the tackles runner. Both McCaffrey and Faulk were really good in that area. Both guys very good in the receiving game as well. So, I think Marshall Faulk and Christian McCaffrey, that's a really good comparison. You could even compare them a little bit if you want to Roger Craig. I saw that comparison today on another social media platform. They're totally different runners. Craig came in the NFL as a fullback. Craig in the first Super Bowl that he played with the 49ers in 1984 was a fullback. Wendell Tyler was the halfback. Even though he was the fullback, he still scored 3. Jack, would you say Christian McCaffrey is what Shannon wanted McKinnon to be? Yeah, that's what you are seeing from Christian McCaffrey is the reason they went out and they made the move to bring in Jerick McKinnon when they did, because they were hoping to have a guy that could do all these different types of things, right? McKinnon's a nice back, but where McCaffrey's different from McKinnon is he's a better back. He can do everything. He has that ability to run between the tackles. You saw that at Stanford. It's translated into the NFL, and he just makes plays. And then you get him into the passing game, and I think he's more of a threat than Jerick McKinnon because he's the guy that can line up as a receiver and win as a receiver down the field. He can win short as a receiver. He can win at all different levels. He's not the runner after the catch that you might want to have. But which is kind of funny because McCaffrey's a running back, but he's not quite the runner after the catch. He's much better, running the ball from the running back position in that standpoint. But I think that's a good call, Shane, for sure. So they definitely had some high hopes for McKinnon. Didn't work out, but the 49ers now the moves that they made in 2017, 2018 didn't work out. But this is a team that since 2019 has been really damn good. I know 2020 was a little off, but that's because they didn't have a quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo only played 6 games, and Nick Mullins, solid backup third string type of guy, but you don't want to have him in very much for the regular season games, having to make too many starts in a row. He's going to get exposed. But other than that, he was able to make some plays. And there you go. That is the 49ers film review against the Arizona Cardinals. Again, a record-breaking day for the 49ers. Brock Purdy, 20 out of 21, hitting 95.2% of his throws. A 49ers franchise record, breaking the record set in 1991 by Steve Young when he completed 18 of 20 against the Detroit Lions back in that 1991 season. McCaffrey scoring a touchdown for the 13th consecutive game. That breaks the record of Jerry Rice, who had 12 in a row, talking about games in a row there. And then last but not least, the 49ers offense scoring 30 points for the 7th consecutive regular season game. That is the first time that a team has done that 7 weeks in a row in the regular season since at least 1970. That's when they had the AFL-NFL merger, by the way. So that's how good this offense has been so far. That's how good Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, that offensive line, helping them all out. Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, complement a slew of weapons for this offense. And this was just a clinic put on by Brock Purdy and McCaffrey and called by 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you guys can do me a favor, hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Then after you get done doing that, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. And then once you do that, turn on your notifications. I promise you don't want to miss any of the updates right here on Inside the 49ers with Jack Hammer. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show. Go enjoy Monday Night Football now. And if you're watching this and it's not Monday night, enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, everybody. Thank you all so much.